sometimes through working through things, you're going to hear some things that you might not like and they might hurt when they're said. It's the same as if, you do something wrong and you don't like to hear that you did something wrong, or you just have to stay humble, stay patient, and work over these things and ask yourself questions like, why do I feel the way I do? Like, set everything aside and don't say, I'm right about this. There's no other option. I'm transitioning. That's it. Like, this is the only way. Don't just set that aside for a minute and run through, what have I been through in my life that has put me
Hmm.
right here? And sometimes, it's the people around you that have to change and not yourself. And those people around you can make you feel like it is yourself when sometimes it's not. So,
I remember you and your family were here in my home last time, and I remember talking with your dad, and this threat of the conversion therapy ban in Bill C-4, threatening to arrest parents who can see and find out what happened in the school system and how you got indoctrinated. To me, don't I can say as many times as I want. This is not on you. Like, you were a child, and years ago when I was a kid, it was when Jim Jones had this cult down in the States. And that's where everybody says, take the Kool-Aid. And he had this cult, and he had convinced everybody, parents and children, to drink the Kool-Aid. And he killed them all. It was like a mass murder. But to have that's why there's something that the word cult, is there and created, is because it's this mass manipulation, and that's what they're doing to our children. And I can't emphasize this enough for parents. Like, I think Alex Newman says it great. Like, the school is on fire, and yet you're dropping your child off every single morning to go in to this burning building and not knowing if your child is going to be the one that's vulnerable or at risk. And children that have been sexually abused or abused in some other way, even as a teenager, they don't understand it. And you've become vulnerable, and I'm going to come alongside you here, and I'm going to get vulnerable for a moment as well, because I don't know that our viewers know this, but I struggled very badly. I had an ulcer in grade 8, but when I was like 15, 16, 17 years old, I started with anorexia and bulimia. And it became so intense and so horrible. And I just couldn't get out of this cycle every single week. Like, I'd be binging and throwing up like 85 times a week. And as I say, I'm becoming very, very vulnerable here. And my mom and dad were like at odds. What do we do? And I did go to counselors. I was very much wanting to have the answer of why I felt this and couldn't break it. And I could be you. If this was presented in the school, Sarah, I would be in the same, very likely could be in the same position as you. And I broke through it. I just prayed and prayed and prayed when I was like 22 and 23 years old, and God healed me, and it was restored like this. I was restored. But it wasn't until I was 39, when there was other trauma in my life, that I actually came across a counselor. I decided to get some support. I'd had a lot of death and loss in my life, and it's good. God says, seek godly counsel. So I sought godly counsel, and this individual was just amazing and actually walked me through some part of my story that had been covered up for a very long time. No, it was a shock to me. No way I could have even done that. And so, but this is what's happening to our children. Plus, we have a mass elevated rate of autism due to the so-called childhood immunizations. And we know that for a fact it's causing mass autism. And then as well, these kids are vulnerable to that. You'll see that all over the internet. Dr. McCullough has spoken about it, and Dr. Tenpenny and others. And so we know that these are all facts, and we know that the government is absolutely 100% intentionally ignoring these facts, because they are so captured by their sin, their sinful nature, and that's why they want the Bible as well illegal and deleted, because then they don't have to face the demons in their life. They don't have to face maybe the deeper hurts in their life that are leading them down this path as well. But there comes a point where there's at that level of government, this is a sexual depravity and deviance that goes beyond. And God is very clear about this. And I'm going to emphasize that again.